We're going to break down Alex Rose's third place throw from this past year's 2025 World Championships in the discus, and we're going to start right now. Okay, before we get into Alex's throw, let's talk about the rain a little bit, but let's also talk about programming and coaching. If you guys want to sign up for this year's U.S. Throws Conference here at Throws University /Garage Strength in Pennsylvania, click the first link in the description, head over, sign up today. We're going to be breaking down how we build out an entire year of programming, an entire year of technical development. So get into that today. That's going to be going live. We're going to be doing this in the end of November. Now, let's look at Alex's throw. And has anyone, you guys have probably been to practice where you've seen, this situation where a discus thrower's got to basically hide their discus so that it doesn't get wet. And they don't want to be out there. They don't want to do it. They want to complain about it's cold, it's rainy. Why am I out here? Why am I doing this? Why do I have to throw in a wet circle that's slippery? I'm coming out of the back and I'm slipping and it's the rain's fault. I just want to blame the rain. And instead of getting better and fixing that position, I'm just going to go back in and not actually train. A lot of people do that. And then what happens? They go to the World Championships. They can't handle the stress. They can't handle it. They're not dancing like Stahl, walking around with his umbrella, giggling that it's raining, because he does that, because he deals with it. Same with the Alekna brothers. The Alekna brothers just both of them executing really, really well. Look at this guy. I hate that I have to use my phone there, because I'm like, it's actually this phone. I much prefer to just watch the actual throw and not even worry about my phone, which is why I had it on the railing. That's my filming technique. Okay, so Alex is coming in. He's got 64-63. He's in 5th place at this point, and he's going into round 5. So he knows he likely has another throw after this. And the big aspect, we've got behind the scenes footage that Alex and I, we broke down a technical analysis of his qualifying throw. We had very specific things that we wanted to work on. Coming out of the back with his getting onto his left leg. So we knew we had to get balanced onto his left leg. We wanted to sweep and get off that left quickly. Sweep hard, get that right down, have a good high point, hold this left side position in the middle. When the left would come down, we would want the left almost directly in line with his right foot. And then we want him to stay over top of that right and to just hit that a little bit higher on the finish. And so when it started to rain really hard and even going into the meet, Alex was like, yo, my cue, I think, honestly, I'm just going to think about throwing it higher, because if I think about throwing it higher, I'm going to get over my left more. I'm going to hold the right more in the middle, and then I'm going to actually end up hitting it and releasing it better with the edge down. Alex is known for throwing really flat throws that tend to wobble, and I believe they tend to wobble because he shifts into his left on the finish, and that lifts the edge of the discus just slightly, and then you get this wobbly discus. Even though the speed of release is quick, it's not flying as well as possible. So let's see what happens if all this lines up.
Rose has thrown 67 metres this year, not in this weather. Now he likes it, Oh, wow! Alex Rose, with his penultimate throw of the competition, has superseded Matthew Denny, and he has...
Let's just go back. This dude says, oh man, this is such a good throw. It's a little jumpy. There we go. He says he's thrown 67. This dude comes off the bench. He was ranked 38th in the world. This is a guy who is now, he's a finalist, got 8th in 2022. Okay, world finalist in 23, Olympic finalist in 24, world finalist in 25. Was ranked 38th in the world because he has his second child, Tailua. Okay, he's got a newborn baby at home. He only threw, I believe he threw in a meet in LA, flew in a red eye to Memphis to go throw at this meet in Memphis and threw terrible there. But he literally threw in 2 meets and threw 67.52 to qualify. It didn't matter. Dude came off the bench 38th to 3rd. So I want to watch this at high speed.
7 metres this year, not in this weather.
Not in this weather.
Now he likes it. Oh, wow! Alex Rose, with his penultimate throw of the competition, has superseded Matthew Denny, and he has moved into the bronze medal position with 66.96. That's extraordinary. What a story this would be for the man who was agonisingly close to the podium in the Commonwealth Games. The coach loved it. He looked very concerned before the throw.
He looked very concerned.
Holder has just pulled out a massive throw.
I think what's interesting here is like all these dudes were complaining about the circle. It's like, interesting. You got a federation that funds you. You got in a lot of cases, a federal government that funds the federation. You got a physio. You got your coach who gets, paid. All that stuff they get paid to fly around. And you don't have kids. Alex has kids. He's got a full-time job. He doesn't get money from a federation. Alex had to buy his flight to go to Tokyo. I've paid for his team's entry fees, the Worlds, myself out of pocket. And everybody wants to bitch about the weather. Everybody wants to complain about the rain. But they don't complain about those other things because they don't see them. But those are the things that led to this moment. Those are the things that led to Alex having to train on sidewalks, having to throw out of a icy circle or a rain-filled circle or a snow-based circle or throwing in a batting cage with a discus, right? Like everybody who would be in this final, he probably already clicked off of this video because you just didn't want to hear. You don't want to hear those things. Those points of discomfort is what has led to this. I just want to throw that out there. So let's actually look at this. There's one angle where Alex actually points at the discus, which I thought was awesome. So let's go through this now and let's see, the big goal here now, Alex, this is really, I think, the first time I'm doing this. You get a little toe pop right there. So we got to be a little more balanced on the wind. I'm just kidding. Just a little toe pop. Not bad. So he's nice and level. This is a good thing here. Nice long position here from Alex, right? Comes out of this. And this is the one position Alex tends to do a really good job with his right side, really getting on top of his left. Now, in this specific situation, he can't get like super, super wide because he can't get as much of a push from the right. So there's a fine balance in the ring. And I think a lot of people could take notes on this, like younger kids, is like when you're in a wet circle, you actually have to be a little more controlled with your left side out of the back because you don't want to slip too much, but you also can't push as much from the right side. So there's it's a double whammy when you're coming out of the back of the circle. But he gets this nice position where he pushes. He turns that right knee in and it just starts to push right there. And then right here, he's a little bit more, almost a little tight here. He's got a little bit of that chest lean in to help him get in, but he's still loaded on the left. So that's the interesting part is to get across the circle, you end up with a little bit more of a chest lean relative to where you're at on the left to get across the circle. Good length out of that sweep leg, even with the way the circle is. Now let's see if I put an arrow right here. Okay, that's probably where we're going to see him sweep to. He gets across the circle pretty well there. And notice when the right foot's about to come down, this is one big thing that Alex does well. That left foot is passing the right. Okay, and the other thing I want you guys to see is when he lands right there, notice he's bent. Okay. Now, Alex's high point right here, maybe you could even say right there, is up that right sector. We were trying to work on him having this left arm a little bit lower, almost like this. Maybe that's a little bit exaggerated, but almost like this slot right here. Okay, so that he would have more weight staying on top of that right, because we knew he wanted to hit it a little bit higher on the finish with that edge down. So we can see here that this comes down. I would have liked that, just a little bit lower on the left side. Left foot gets down right about, let's say, right about even one more. Right there. Left foot's down. Okay, and if you see here, typically for Alex's left to come across, when he comes out of the back, he tends to, right here, as he sweeps, he tends to push from the left foot. Okay, so he sweeps and then he pushes, and that helps his left foot get a little bit deeper at the front, but he couldn't push as much because of the circle. So he catches still here. Now his left foot's sort of blocking him off a little bit. He's in this position with that left side where he catches it. But then he sits really, really through with that right. Okay, right here, he's sitting through. He's got a good hip separation. Now, he said he's like, I struggle to stay on my left concerning the sweep. Comes around on the reverse. And notice right there, what a freaking great throw, dude. Sorry, it's a little jumpy. Boom, so he catches. Sits through. Right side goes through. I mean, even at this point, it's like, boom. And he's close to the cage on this, but he stays on it, right? Just stays on it, all the way around. And notice on the finish, too. I've always said to Alex, when his left, even if his left's up, if he gets through on it with that whole right side and his right foot replaces his left, it's fine. That's good. That's where we need to be. And, dude, actually, this... Yeah, it sort of looks close there, but man, dude, this is freaking flying so well. Edge is down, right? So if we go in there, that's probably one of the best flights he's ever had. Edge is down, right? Good elevation on it. Minimal wobble through the finish. Into the freaking sky. Just sending that shit to the moon. For that world bronze medal, all the way back around. Good, stable, controlled catch position all the way back through. Still flying well. As that sort of comes back around into there. So let's go back one more time and just go back over the key basic points for everybody out there, right? We want to see good, stable wind. Get on the left. Push that right side around. Push that right side around right there. Cut the right to the middle, get off the left. I would have liked his left arm maybe a little bit lower. Left foot, maybe we could get that a little bit deeper right here. If that left foot came around just a little bit more, like right, let's see there. Again, that's a hard position when you got a wet circle. Keep rotating as long as possible here. It's crazy because even though he's off his left, look at how far his shoulder is ahead of his right foot, his right knee. Even there on that last sequence right there, he hits it and he's still staying square all the way around. Just clocks that throw. And what's interesting is that even in training, Alex has had like bombs, huge throws, left, mid sector to left sector. But what happened is, because of the adjustments he had to make, this is mid-right to right sector. But he's so used to doing certain things well out of the back, it enabled him to be able to handle the circle and the conditions as well as possible, which leads to that celebration right there. It's like, you can't beat that. You cannot beat that.
With his penultimate throw of the competition, has superseded Matthew Denny, and he has moved into the bronze medal position with 66.96. That's extraordinary. What a story this would be for the man who was agonisingly close to the podium in the Commonwealth Games. The coach loved it. He looked very concerned before the throw. The Oceanian record holder has just pulled out a massive throw.
This guy forgot that Denny has the Oceania record because he went 74 freaking 80 at Ramona. I think real quick too, just I want to share this with you guys, is like, looking at that competition, we knew we had to keep the cues simple. We had to keep it as executable as possible given the situation. Keep it as positive as possible and problem solving based, right? There's never in Alex's career, and I like, we have a chip on our shoulders, right, as his coach and him as the athlete, that he has two kids. He works a full-time job. He doesn't have support from his federation. He doesn't have support from the government. He's got to do all this stuff himself. That creates that chip on the shoulder. That creates that trash talk that I sort of put out there in the beginning. But that's also why we have to keep things simple. It's like, hey, you got to throw it this time. Hey, we got to lift whenever you can. Sometimes he's lifting in a hotel gym. Sometimes we got to just do with it what we can and keep the cues as simple as possible. But then in a situation like this where the stress is really high, he can execute really, really well. And we've just got to remember too, 22, 23, 24, 25 now he's made the finals. He didn't make his first final until he was 30. He medaled now when he's 33. And I think like this is one, he's going to keep building and growing. He's a 71-meter discus thrower that a lot of people have discounted and not included in the discussion. And really, when you look at the competition, it's like who's the champ? Arguably the greatest discus thrower of all time, Daniel Stahl, was the champ. Who got second? The world record holder. He's probably gonna finish his career as the greatest of all time. Like, he got second. So the top two guys, phenomenal. And Alex has sort of just been like, yeah, back in the shadows, but people forget he's thrown 70 plus multiple times. He's been in the final multiple times. He's had some injuries. Last year he had knee surgery after the Olympics. So like a lot of these things have happened, but now to see it come to fruition and the success, it's freaking like he earned every single bit of that. 66, 96, 67 meters in a wet circle in the stadium. Absolutely fantastic. Get balanced on that left. Get that right to the middle. Be patient while the left leg comes around and sit through that finish. Those are the simple things that you guys can do. If you need help with your programming, head over to throwsuniversity.com. Don't forget to sign up for the 2025 U.S. Throws Conference. Head over to throwsuniversity.com. Until next time, peace.